What's up everyone? Welcome back to my kitchen for another recipe video. So today I'm actually going to show you two recipes in one video. First I'm going to show you how to make this amazing, mouth-watering, vegan-friendly buffalo sauce. It's so good. And then of course we need something for it to go on. So I'll show you how to make these crispy cauliflower wings. So I'll show you how to make them just plain right off the bat so you could use them for anything you want. Or of course you could drench it in this buffalo sauce, which I've obviously already done. So as usual, I will put the recipes in the description box down below for you guys. So do me a solid, hit the like button for that, and hopefully you enjoy the video. So let's get right into it. So if you follow me over on Instagram, you might have seen me mention how much I love this buffalo sauce a few times last week. It's just so good. It goes with so many things, and the ingredients are actually great. However, it's just a little bit expensive. It's like 10 bucks for this little bottle around here. So I did what any cheap content creator would do, and I mentioned the company that makes this. I was like, yo, Primal Kitchen, you guys should sponsor me. You should send me some buffalo sauce. Well, they didn't, and that was a big mistake, because then I went to work deconstructing this, figuring out how they make this stuff taste so good. So after many hours of trial and error, I think I finally cracked the code, and we're gonna put Primal Kitchen out of business. Now I'm just kind of kidding. It really wasn't that difficult to figure out. We know that ingredients are always listed in order of weight. So like the heaviest one is going to be listed first, the lightest thing is going to be listed last. So we can kind of assume that, you know, the first ingredient is what's most in here. And the first ingredient here was cayenne pepper sauce. And that kind of stalled me at the beginning because I was like, I don't really know what this is. I don't know where to find it. And then one of you guys messaged me and told me that cayenne pepper sauce is just Frank's Red Hot. And it even says it like right on it. It says cayenne pepper sauce right there. Never even noticed. And it's just aged cayenne red peppers, vinegar, water, salt, garlic powder. So there's no colors or preservatives or anything in here. So this is a perfect base to start with. So 3/4 of a cup of Frank's Red Hot. And this is gonna make quite a bit of sauce. So if you wanna, you know, either make less or more, you just have to adjust the ratios. And then next I'm gonna be adding some cashew butter. Butter is usually in buffalo sauce. They usually use like, you know, traditional dairy butter, but this is a way to keep it vegan. So we're gonna be using between 3 and 4 tablespoons of cashew butter. You can kind of decide how creamy you want it. Obviously more is gonna be creamier, less not so creamy. Next is 1/4 cup of water. So they use oil to kind of, you know, thin theirs out, but I find that the water just works perfectly. You don't even need any oil. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And that's it, so simple. So now we just blend. So I don't know if you guys are like me, but this color of like sauce has to be one of the most mouth-watering colors of sauces. For some reason, as soon as you put it on something, I'm just like, I want to eat that. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little like taste test to see, you know, kind of how they compare. I'll do my best to describe it. So my right hand here, this side of the screen, is the store-bought Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce, and then this is the one that I just made. So I'll try theirs first. I've been eating this stuff a lot, so I know it's good. I know what it tastes like, but let's see how it compares. It's close. It's really close. It's like a little bit spicier, so I guess they probably weren't using Frank's Red Hot. It's really nice. I kind of like the flavor a little bit better because it doesn't have that like that oil kind of hint in the background of the avocado oil. It's just like really, you know, bright, clean flavor. So good. Yeah, you guys are gonna love this. It's amazing. So I've got all this sauce, but I need something to put it on. So now I'm gonna show you guys how to make this really like easy, super solid, crispy cauliflower wing recipe. And of course, they're gonna turn into buffalo wings once you put this on, but you could season them however you want. So first thing you wanna do is preheat the oven to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so first order of business for the cauliflower wings is you need some cauliflower, and you gotta get it into wing-sized pieces. So let's do that. Let's get rid of all these green bits here. Definitely don't need that where we're going. So the size that you cut these is obviously going to be up to you, but I like to kind of make them, you know, pretty standard wing sizes. So once you get a piece like this, I just kind of cut it down the stem and then see where we're at. And I think I'll cut this one again. There we go. So this is pretty much what we're looking for. I'm gonna make a whole bunch more of these, but I will speed it up for you guys. So cue the time lapse. All right, so there we go. That didn't take long. So next I'm just gonna fire these into a big bowl, and this is actually kind of necessary because actually you'll see why in a sec. And this is like a little hack that makes this so much easier. So for the wash, I'm gonna start with 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour. So we wanna use about a ratio of 1 to 2 as far as like flour to liquid goes. And then for the liquid, I'm gonna be using this plain unsweetened soy milk. You basically want this to be like a really runny pancake batter. And then whisk this up pretty quickly because you don't want it to be all lumpy. And then I like to season this mixture. It's not as important if you're gonna be dumping like the buffalo sauce all over it, but if you're having them plain or you just wanna add some extra flavor, you definitely wanna season this. So I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then just a pinch of salt and pepper. You definitely don't wanna make this too salty because the buffalo sauce is pretty salty just from, the Franks. And then just give that a quick mix. So in a minute, this is gonna go on top of the cauliflower, but first we're gonna get the breading ready. So what I find works best for these is this like panko Japanese style breadcrumbs. When I first started to try this recipe, I didn't realize that there were different types of panko, and the first one I got was like the gluten-free one or whatever, and it was like breading it with like Rice Krispies or something. Like they were so big and chunky, it didn't make any sense to me. They still tasted good. And then for the next batch, I actually blended it into like a powder, and that seemed to work a little bit better. And then when I went back to the store, I realized that there was a bunch of different types. So I got the right one this time. Yeah, this looks perfect. So I'm gonna put the breadcrumbs into this measuring cup just because it's gonna be easier for me to like pour out when the time comes. Just another tip where you guys can learn from my mistakes. What I tried to do the first time was just like dump them all in with the panko breading and mix it around. And I thought that was gonna work, but what happens is the panko breading gets like wet and it doesn't stick anymore. And yeah, you have to be a little bit careful when you're doing this. So I'll show you guys the technique right here. So here's the time-saving part. Usually you'd have like a couple different stations where you dip this in the wash and then in the panko breading. But what I found you can do is just pour this right over top of them all. And then mix it all up. You wanna make sure that they're all nicely coated. So once these are all coated, you definitely wanna set up like a little bit of an assembly line to make it easiest and most efficient for you. And you definitely need a baking tray with some sort of non-stick surface, like this silicone sheet works perfectly. Parchment paper would work good as well. So this is what I found works best for me. So I'm just gonna put some on the bottom here. And then you take your cauliflower, place it in here. Make sure you get some on the bottom, and then coat the top. Make sure you get on all the sides. And then when you're putting them on the baking tray, you just want to like space them out a little bit so there's a little air in between them all. You don't want them all crowded on top of each other. All right, so now we're ready to throw it into the oven. Like I said, 375 degrees, and they're gonna take about 30 to 45 minutes. They definitely take a little while, but you'll know when they're done, once you start smelling cauliflower and once the breading starts to brown. So I actually had enough to make another tray full, so this is going in there as well. So obviously, if we're having buffalo wings, we need some celery as well. Oh yeah, all right. So here's how they all turned out. Look at them, so crispy. All right, let's do a quick crunch test so you guys can hear how crispy these are. All right, let's make these buffalo wings. So I'm gonna carefully put them in here. I mean, if you're too rough with them, kind of knock off all the breading, so you don't wanna do that. All right, here we go. So I'm amazed at how well the breading sticks to it. Like, there's barely any coming off. I don't think I have too many plating options here other than just kind of plopping them on. So I just can't believe like how legit these things turned out. They look so good. Looks like something that you get from like a restaurant or something like that. All right, so I better test them out. So I'm first gonna try the celery. No, I'm just kidding. Wow. Oh man. Woo. That is unbelievable. That is as good as cauliflower gets right there. Holy smokes. All right, so I guess that's about it. These are gonna be the best buffalo cauliflower wings you have ever had. They are just unreal. So if you do make them or you just make the sauce, definitely tag me on Instagram at Simnett Nutrition because you guys know I love seeing the creations that you make inspired by my recipes. So definitely hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe so you can see more from me, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this recipe and let me know what you're gonna put this buffalo sauce on, because let me tell you, it goes with a lot of different things. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. I will see you soon with another video. Oh yeah, and if you guys do have a bunch of this panko breading left over and you don't want to throw it out, what I actually did was I mixed it up with some already cooked potatoes that we had, with some like onion, a few spices, and then I just kind of like formed them into balls, made a couple patties, and I just baked them, and it turned out like really tasty. So it's always good to, you know, not waste when you don't need to. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys.